Hi, I thought I'd do a little bit of a freestyle of vlogging. Today I want to talk about why should you do an engagement session. A lot of couples these days skip the engagement session and just go straight to the wedding. I want to tell you the 3 reasons why you should do an engagement session. The way I structure my packages is definitely better for doing an engagement session because a lot of the couples who inquire with me are doing traditional weddings, but doing more adventure style engagement session. Instead of a lot of couples, they would like to do an adventure elopement style wedding, but because they have large family or friends, they just decide to do both. So they do an engagement session for an adventure session, and then for the wedding, they'll do a traditional wedding style. That works for a lot of people. Definitely works a lot better for some of my clients. Engagement session, I feel like I definitely recommend it to couple who feel not so comfortable in front of the camera. And I know from the past experience in terms of talking to a lot of the couples that this applies to pretty much everyone. This gives you time to get used to being in front of the camera, posing, and in terms of taking direction from the wedding photographer will be quite different to how you would actually feel on the wedding day. So, in your head, it may seem pretty good doing this way, or you may have been practiced in front of a mirror at home. But in reality, what looks good for you on the side of from what photographer is looking will be quite different to what you have in mind and what you have been imagining. So going through that process with a photographer is always a good idea. Second thing is, it's always nice to have a different type of background and vibe to your photos. I always like to put engagement session photos and the wedding photos together in an album, and it tells people the story of who you are as a couple. Hopefully the reason that you're making wedding album and taking pictures and all this thing is not only for you to remember, but also maybe show it to your children or grandchildren down the road. It's always nice to have that cohesion from engagement session to wedding, but at the same time, because it's a wedding and it's an engagement session, they will look different. The outfit could look different. The vibe and the background could look different. So everything could look very different. That's probably one of the main reasons that I would definitely recommend doing it. Third reason is it's also a good way for you to kind of see if you work well with that photographer. So if you have already selected a wedding photographer for your wedding, and if you're not paying over $8,000, it's nice for you to vet the photographer. It applies to me as well. Anyone charging over $8,000 right now in 2025 is other people who are very experienced and who can attract clients very well. Those clients will never complain about their work because they're so experienced and they're very versed type of weddings and different scenarios. Everything that could go wrong at weddings, they probably have experience, so they know how to deal with all those things. Whereas people who are charging less than $8,000, depending on the region as well, but if you're booking a photographer who's charging less than $4,000, for example, then I definitely recommend you to do a session with the photographer to see how they are in terms of I'm not saying that you should be auditioning the photographer, but I'm saying more like if you can work well with the photographer, because not every photographer can work with every type of clients. You would think that it should be quite easy, we as a photographer myself, we always try, but it's always nice to meet the photographer in person to talk about different things, but at the same time, just to see how they are with the camera and try to really imagine what they're going to be like on the wedding day is going to make you feel a lot more comfortable on the wedding day. So yeah, that's definitely something that I would recommend. The 3 quick things that I wanted to talk to you about today, hopefully that was helpful and the background noise wasn't too loud. I'll try to delete some of them in the post process, but if it hadn't worked, sorry about that. wish you the best of luck.
All right.
Bye.